Okie dokie, One Piece episode 2. That's what we're going to be looking at in this video. That's what we're going to be talking about in this video. And this shot is obviously from the end of the episode as he's pointing off into the distance, saying where they're going to go. And from what I can figure already, this is only the second episode that I've watched. However, it dawned on me now that we've got the MacGuffin in hand that we're going to be having a baddie of the week type of a thing, because in this particular episode we just had the clown pirate. So the clown pirate captured them, and it turns out that the clown pirate had eaten one of these dragon fruit things, the same type that made him go rubbery. But we have learnt in this episode that everyone is a little bit different. That means if somebody else eats one, they won't necessarily go rubbery. Something else would happen. And in the case of the clown, it was the chop dragon fruit, which means all of his bits can just fall apart and come together and he can still control them. So, of course, when a guy can fly to bits, you can't chop him up because he's already chopped, and he can fly his bits around and pummel you with them. How do you defeat a guy like that? Lo and behold, in this episode, capture his different bits and pieces into boxes, then he's buggered because he can't get them out of the box because they're in the box. So he just ended up, it was really quite funny at the end, with just little two hands sticking out of, sitting on top of 2 feet, and his head just sitting there. And of course we have established that Luffy, every time he does his king hit, his last big power punch or whatever, he names the punch that he's going to do. And I kind of find that interesting and a little bit quirky. We're seeing that there's an interesting rapport going on between the Zorro's sword guy and the female. I don't even know what the name of her name is. I know the actor's name, but I don't know the character's name. So it doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter that I don't know their names, nor the name of the guy that he was first with, who's now become a Marine. So of course we see a nice little interesting cliffhanger at the end of this one. Luffy is of course pointing off into the distance and he's all happy. However, in secret, the woman on their team, the crew, no, we're not your crew, we're not part of the crew, we're not a team, but they clearly are somehow together still. Well, she's got this little worm thing and she's made a phone call to somebody, and we didn't see who was on the other end, and that somebody, and she said she's got the map. Now, of course, to you and I, she explained, which is great, she explained what it was, where they were going, and she did it within the world, north, east, south, and west, and basically in our world we would call that the equator, is where they're going to. Now, logic would then tell you, why don't you just sail south? If the sun always comes up on the east, just keep the sun to your left and you sail south. That's in our world though. And don't need a map to find the equator, right? Anyway, that's the simplicity version of it, but apparently they need a map to do it. And what's really intriguing is that even though I am anticipating a different villain of the week sort of a thing, it's still always while they're traveling to try and find essentially the equator. So that's always the main goal. There's some little MacGuffins along the way and the villain of the week. That's what I'm anticipating from the show. The acting is on point. Like the guy, I can't think his name was Bobby or something. When he looks scared, he's doing a good job. And the different facial expressions, I mentioned that in my first review, the facial expressions, the camera angles, the acting of all the actors, just everything is on point. I'm not sitting here going, oh God, isn't there any emotion in this one? If he's trying to be cool and calm, then I don't expect him to be too emotional, but I do expect his voice to have certain inflections to convey something instead of just being emotionless in the face and also monotone speaking. if he's got the little inflections in the voice, then he's doing his acting through the voice changes. And that's what I've been seeing so far in the show. I think the acting is brilliant. Now, look, this isn't a cheap show. They're doing 8 episodes and it's costing them like 136 or 144 million US dollars for 8 episodes. So we're a bit over $15 million an episode. That's kind of like the Mandalorian Andor level of spend. And considering that's what we are spending, and we have to assume that Ahsoka's 8 episodes are at least $15 million, and I look at the Ahsoka series, what I got for my 15 million, and I'm looking at this, what I'm getting for my 15 million, but I'm looking at it from what's entertaining me more. These episodes so far, this episode's episode 1, I think the first one was, I can't remember how long it was, but it was like over an hour. This one is over an hour too. If Disney's dropping $15 million on a 35, 40 minute Ahsoka episode, and this is costing $15 to $18 million for an hour episode, I'm still personally wondering where the money goes. I don't see what I'm getting for my $15 or $20 million, but that's besides the point. In terms of minutes of show, I feel I'm getting more, and entertainment-wise, I feel I'm getting far more entertained so far from One Piece than I am from Ahsoka. In fact, I watch an episode and I want to see the next episode. With Ahsoka, it was like, oh God, I kind of want to see what's going to happen, but you know, the acting's not that great. And you could blame the directors for not getting it out of the actor, in which case, if this show is having good acting, then you can credit the director for getting that out of them, or you can give the casting agent a pat on the back for hiring actors that can portray the character as needed to be. Either way, so far I'm finding the show quite entertaining, and episode 2 had the clown pirate, and it showed that these pirates actually have a care. So when they defeated the clown pirate and the people of the town said, "Are you our new captors?" and Luffy's like, "No, you're free. It's your town. Do what you want." Strangest pirates ever, right? So anyway, this is damn entertaining show, and I'm looking forward to the next one. And if you've seen it, let me know what you think down below.